California is a state located on the west coast of the United States. It is the most populous U.S. state, with 39 million people, and the third largest state by area. California is bordered by Oregon to the north, Nevada to the east, Arizona to the southeast, and the Mexican state of Baja California to the south. It contains the nation's second most populous census statistical area and the fifth most populous, and 8 of the nation's 50 most populated cities. Sacramento has been the state capital since 1854. What is now California was first settled by various Native American tribes before being explored by a number of European expeditions during the 16th and 17th centuries. It was then claimed by the Spanish Empire as part of Alta California in the larger territory of New Spain. Alta California became a part of Mexico in 1821 following its successful war for independence, but was ceded to the United States in 1848 after the Mexican-American War. The western portion of Alta California was organized as the state of California, which was admitted as the 31st state on September 9, 1850. The California Gold Rush starting in 1848 led to dramatic social and demographic change, with large-scale immigration from the east and abroad with an accompanying economic boom. California's diverse geography ranges from the Sierra Nevada in the east to the Pacific coast in the west, from the redwood Douglas fir forests of the northwest, to the Mojave Desert areas in the southeast. The center of the state is dominated by the Central Valley, a major agricultural area. California contains both the highest point and the lowest point in the contiguous United States, and it has the third longest coastline of all states. Earthquakes are common because of the state's location along the Pacific Ring of Fire. About 37,000 earthquakes are recorded each year, but most are too small to be felt. California's economy is centered on technology, finance, real estate services, government, and professional, scientific and technical business services, together comprising 58% of the state economy. Although only 1.5% of the state's economy, California's agriculture industry has the highest output of any U.S. state. If it were a country, California would be the 8th or 9th largest economy in the world and the 34th most populous. California has had an enormous influence on global popular culture due to being the birthplace of the film industry, the internet, the hippie counterculture and the personal computer. Etymology. The word California originally referred to the entire region composed of the Baja California Peninsula of Mexico, the current U.S. states of California, Nevada, and Utah, and parts of Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, and Wyoming. The name California is most commonly believed to have derived from a fictional paradise peopled by black Amazons and ruled by Queen Calafia. The story of Calafia is recorded in a 1510 work, The Adventures of Esplandian, written as a sequel to Amadis de Gaula by Spanish adventure writer García Rodríguez de Montalvo. The kingdom of Queen Calafia, according to Montalvo, was said to be a remote land inhabited by griffins and other strange beasts, and rich in gold. Know ye that at the right hand of the Indies there is an island called California, very close to that part of the terrestrial paradise, which was inhabited by black women without a single man among them, and they lived in the manner of Amazons. They were robust of body with strong passionate hearts and great virtue. The island itself is one of the wildest in the world on account of the bold and craggy rocks. Chapter 157 of The Adventures of Esplandian. Shortened forms of the state's name include Ca, Cal, Caliph, and USCA. Geography. California is the third largest state in the United States in area, after Alaska and Texas. In the middle of the state lies the California Central Valley, bounded by the Sierra Nevada in the east, the coastal mountain ranges in the west, the Cascade Range to the north and the Tehachapi Mountains in the south. The Central Valley is California's agricultural heartland. divided in two by the Sacramento-San Joaquin River Delta. The northern portion, the Sacramento Valley, serves as the watershed of the Sacramento River, while the southern portion, the San Joaquin Valley, is the watershed for the San Joaquin River. Both areas derive their names from the rivers that flow through them. With dredging, the Sacramento and the San Joaquin rivers have remained deep enough for several inland cities to be seaports. The Sacramento-San Joaquin River Delta is a critical water supply hub for the state. Water is diverted from the delta and through an extensive network of pumps and canals that traverse nearly the length of the state, to the Central Valley and the state water projects and other needs. Water from the delta provides drinking water for nearly 23 million people, almost two-thirds of the state's population, as well as water for farmers on the west side of the San Joaquin Valley. The Channel Islands are located off the southern coast. The Sierra Nevada includes the highest peak in the contiguous 48 states, Mount Whitney, at 14,505 feet. The range embraces Yosemite Valley, famous for its glacially carved domes, and Sequoia National Park, home to the giant sequoia trees, the largest living organisms on Earth, and the deep freshwater lake, Lake Tahoe, the largest lake in the state by volume. To the east of the Sierra Nevada are Owens Valley and Mono Lake, an essential migratory bird habitat. In the western part of the state is Clear Lake, the largest freshwater lake by area entirely in California. Though Lake Tahoe is larger, it is divided by the California-Nevada border. The Sierra Nevada falls to Arctic temperatures in winter and has several dozen small glaciers, including Palisade Glacier, the southernmost glacier in the United States. California contains more forestland than any other state except Alaska. Many of the trees in the California White Mountains are the oldest in the world. An individual bristlecone pine is over 5,000 years old. In the south is a large inland salt lake, the Salton Sea. The south-central desert is called the Mojave. To the northeast of the Mojave lies Death Valley, which contains the lowest and hottest place in North America, the Badwater Basin at -279 feet. The horizontal distance from the bottom of Death Valley to the top of Mount Whitney is less than 90 miles. Indeed, almost all of southeastern California is arid, hot desert, with routine extreme high temperatures during the summer. The southeastern border of California with Arizona is entirely formed by the Colorado River, from which the southern part of the state gets about half of its water. Along the California coast are several major metropolitan areas, including the Greater Los Angeles area, the San Francisco Bay Area, and the San Diego metropolitan area. As part of the Ring of Fire, California is subject to tsunamis, floods, droughts, Santa Ana winds, wildfires, landslides on steep terrain, and has several volcanoes. It has many earthquakes due to several faults running through the state, in particular the San Andreas Fault. Climate. Even though most of the state has a Mediterranean climate, due to the large size of the state, the climate ranges from subarctic to subtropical. The cool California current offshore often creates summer fog near the coast. Farther inland, there are colder winters and hotter summers. The maritime moderation results in the shoreline summertime temperatures of Los Angeles and San Francisco being the coolest of all major metropolitan areas of the United States and uniquely cool compared to areas on the same latitude in the interior and on the east coast of the North American continent. Even the San Diego shoreline bordering Mexico is cooler in summer than most areas in the contiguous United States. Just a few miles inland, summer temperature extremes are significantly higher, with downtown Los Angeles being several degrees warmer than at the coast. The same microclimate phenomenon is seen in the climate of the Bay Area, where areas sheltered from the sea see significantly hotter summers than nearby areas close to the ocean. Northern parts of the state have more rain than the south. California's mountain ranges also influence the climate. Some of the rainiest parts of the state are west-facing mountain slopes. Northwestern California has a temperate climate, and the Central Valley has a Mediterranean climate but with greater temperature extremes than the coast. The high mountains, including the Sierra Nevada, have an alpine climate with snow in winter and mild to moderate heat in summer. California's mountains produce rain shadows on the eastern side, creating extensive deserts. The higher elevation deserts of eastern California have hot summers and cold winters, while the low deserts east of the Southern California mountains have hot summers and nearly frostless mild winters. Death Valley, a desert with large expanses below sea level, is considered the hottest location in the world. The highest temperature in the world, 134 degrees Fahrenheit, was recorded there on July 10, 1913. The lowest temperature in California was -45 degrees Fahrenheit in 1937 in Boca. The table below lists average temperatures for August and December in some of the major urban areas of California. Since extremes like the cool summers of the Humboldt Bay and the extreme heat of Death Valley do not affect any major urban areas, these are not listed. Ecology. California is one of the richest and most diverse parts of the world, and includes some of the most endangered ecological communities. California is part of the Arctic ecozone and spans a number of terrestrial ecoregions. California's large number of endemic species includes relic species, which have died out elsewhere, such as the Catalina ironwood. Many other endemics originated through differentiation or adaptive radiation, whereby multiple species develop from a common ancestor to take advantage of diverse ecological conditions such as the California lilac. Many California endemics have become endangered, as urbanization, logging, overgrazing, and the introduction of exotic species have encroached on their habitat. Flora and fauna. California boasts several superlatives in its collection of flora: the largest trees, the tallest trees, and the oldest trees. California's native grasses are perennial plants. After European contact, these were generally replaced by invasive species of European annual grasses, and, in modern times, California's hills turn a characteristic golden brown in summer. Because California has the greatest diversity of climate and terrain, the state has 6 life zones, which are the Lower Sonoran, Upper Sonoran, Transition, and the Canadian, Hudsonian, and Arctic zones, comprising the state's highest elevations. Plant life in the dry climate of the Lower Sonoran Zone contains a diversity of native cactus, mesquite, and palo verde. The Joshua tree is found in the Mojave Desert. Flowering plants include the dwarf desert poppy and a variety of asters. Fremont cottonwood and valley oak thrive in the Central Valley. The Upper Sonoran Zone includes the Chaparral Belt, characterized by forests of small shrubs, stunted trees, and herbaceous plants. Nemophila, mint, Phacelia, viola, and the California poppy, the state flower, also flourish in this zone, along with the lupine, more species of which occur here than anywhere else in the world. The transition zone includes most of California's forests, with the redwood and the big tree, or giant sequoia, among the oldest living things on Earth. Tanbark oak, California laurel, sugar pine, madrona, broad-leaved maple, and Douglas fir also grow here. Forest floors are covered with swordfern, alumroot, barrenwort, and trillium, and there are thickets of huckleberry, azalea, elder, and wild currant. Characteristic wildflowers include varieties of mariposa, tulip, and tiger and leopard lilies. The high elevations of the Canadian zone allow the Jeffrey pine, red fir, and lodgepole pine to thrive. Brushy areas are abundant with dwarf manzanita and ceanothus. The unique Sierra puffball is also found here, right below the Time Berliner. In the Hudsonian zone, the whitebark, foxdale, and silver pines grow. At about 10,500 feet, begins the Arctic zone, a treeless region whose flora include a number of wildflowers, including Sierra primrose, yellow columbine, alpine buttercup, and alpine shooting star. Common plants that have been introduced to the state include the eucalyptus, acacia, pepper tree, geranium, and Scotch broom. The species that are federally classified as endangered are the Contra Costa wallflower, Antioch Dunes evening primrose, Solano grass, San Clemente Island larkspur, salt marsh bird's beak, McDonald's rock cress, and Santa Barbara Island live forever. As of December 1997, update, 85 plant species were listed as threatened or endangered. In the deserts of the lower Sonoran Zone, the mammals include the jackrabbit, kangaroo rat, squirrel, and opossum. Common birds include the owl, roadrunner, cactus wren, and various species of hawk. The area's reptilian life include the sidewinder viper, desert tortoise, and horned toad. The upper Sonoran Zone boasts mammals such as the antelope, brown-footed wood rat, and ring-tailed cat. Birds unique to this zone are the California thrasher, bush-tite, and California condor. In the transition zone, there are a Colombian black-tailed deer, black bears, gray foxes, cougars, bobcats, and Roosevelt elk. Reptiles such as the garter snakes and rattlesnakes inhabit the zone. In addition, amphibians such as the water puppy and redwood salamander are common too. Birds such as the kingfisher, chickadee, towhee, and hummingbird thrive here as well. The Canadian zone mammals include the mountain weasel, snowshoe hare, and several species of chipmunks. Conspicuous birds include the blue-fronted jay, Sierra chickadee, Sierra hermit thrush, water ouzel, and Townsend's solitaire. As one ascends into the Hudsonian zone, birds become scarcer. While the Sierra rosy finch is the only bird native to the high Arctic region, other bird species such as the hummingbird and Clark's nutcracker. Principal mammals found in this region include the Sierra coney, white-tailed jackrabbit, and the bighorn sheep. As of April 2003, update, the bighorn sheep was listed as endangered by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. The fauna found throughout several zones are the mule deer, coyote, mountain lion, northern flicker, and several species of hawk and sparrow. Aquatic life in California thrives, from the state's mountain lakes and streams to the rocky Pacific coastline. Numerous trout species are found, among them rainbow, golden, and cutthroat. Migratory species of salmon are common as well. Deep-sea life forms include sea bass, yellowfin tuna, barracuda, and several types of whale. Native to the cliffs of Northern California are seals, sea lions, and many types of shorebirds, including migratory species. As of April 2003, 118 California animals were on the federal endangered list. 181 plants were listed as endangered or threatened. Endangered animals include the San Joaquin kitfox, Point Arena mountain beaver, Pacific pocket mouse, salt marsh harvest mouse, Morro Bay kangaroo rat, Imago's vole, California least tern, California condor, loggerhead shrike, San Clemente sage sparrow, San Francisco garter snake, 5 species of salamander, 3 species of chub, and 2 species of pupfish. 11 butterflies are also endangered and 2 that are threatened are on the federal list. Among threatened animals are the coastal California nutcatcher, Paiute cutthroat trout, southern sea otter, and northern spotted owl. California has a total of 290,821 acres of national wildlife refuges. As of September 2010, update, 123 California animals were listed as either endangered or threatened on the federal list provided by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. Also, as of the same year, update, 178 species of California plants were listed either as endangered or threatened on this federal list. Rivers. The vast majority of rivers in California are dammed as part of 2 massive water projects. The Central Valley Project, providing water to the agricultural Central Valley. The California State Water Project, diverting water from northern to southern California. The state's coasts, rivers, and other bodies of water are regulated by the California Coastal Commission. The two most prominent rivers within California are the Sacramento River and the San Joaquin River, which drain the Central Valley and the west slope of the Sierra Nevada and flow to the Pacific Ocean through San Francisco Bay. Several major tributaries feed into the Sacramento and the San Joaquin, including the Pitt River, the Tuolumne River, and the Feather River. The Eel River and Salinas River each drain portions of the California coast, north and south of San Francisco Bay, respectively. And the Eel River is the largest river in the state to remain in its natural undammed state. The Mojave River is the primary watercourse in the Mojave Desert, and the Santa Ana River drains much of the Transverse Ranges as it bisects southern California. Some other important rivers are the Klamath River and the Trinity River in the far north coast, and the Colorado River on the southeast border with Arizona.